Welcome back to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City on Vegas, allnetradio.com. The final frontier of free speech. We are broadcasting live on SinCityBounty.com, where you can look at our ugly mugs or beautiful faces, and sometimes we show you our bras. Toxie had to step out for a moment, so it's just me and you. It's just me and you. We could talk about anything you want to talk about. We could talk about nerdy stuff, truly nerdy stuff, really, really, really nerdy stuff. I saw the clip that has been released for the Millennium Falcon for the new Star Wars movies, and I am super duper excited about the new Star Wars movies because it is taking place in the time period that I wanted it to. There was, when they first announced that they were doing a new trilogy, there was some question about, was it going to be Clone Wars stuff, which is the period of time in Anakin's life that we completely skipped over in the movies, where he went from being young Anakin to the handsome Anakin who turned into Darth Vader. But Clone Wars was covered in the Cartoon Network series, the Star Wars, the Clone Wars. There was other speculation that would be a prequel, so it would be like Qui-Gon Jinn going through his Padawan learning days and how we got to the point of having the Emperor and all of the bad things that happened. But what I really wanted is where the canon books took off from after Vader is dead. Luke and Leia have discovered that they are brother and sister. Han is unfrozen. And everyone's happy, and now what do we do with this? Because we've defeated the Emperor, and that is rebuild the Jedi Order, but in the way that was not destructive the way the Jedi Order was before. Because come to find out, Luke and Leia are both Jedi. Leia's a Jedi Master, and Luke is.
Oh my god!
Yes, that's where I went. That's what happens when you walk out of the room.
Wow.
That's what happens when she walks out of the room. This turns into the Geek Lounge revised.
Wow.
Speaking of the Geek Lounge, they're going to be on October 5th.
Here?
Yeah, I booked them.
What?
Yeah.
Is what's his name?
Yeah, Luis. He's my point of contact with them. So yeah, he's coming. Yeah.
Very, just to share, in case anyone didn't see it, for our 200th anniversary, they came to our big event. And so at one point I was very nervous. It was only, I want to say, the second time I've been on air. You know, I was when we were in here and we had Cockblocker Rodney and his wife. And so it really was only the second time, and I remember walking in really nervous. And at one point I was taking the mic from Sweet Cheeks to go around and interview people. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like shaking. I'm so nervous. And I believe it was Sweet Cheeks who said, I'm really nervous. She's like, just be yourself. Do what you do best. And all of a sudden I'm like, ding. And a light bulb went off and I'm like, I'm doing all interviews from people's laps. So that's what I did.
Interviews.
And I immediately, like, very first interview, I'm like, can I go on your lap? And that was it. So I remember sitting on that gentleman's, and he was really embarrassed.
Yeah,
and
he's very easily
then, yeah,
embarrassed.
he was very embarrassed. And then afterwards, somebody posted pictures from the event on Facebook, and they were kind enough to tag him with me sitting on his lap. And people were like making a few comments on it. I'm assuming his family or friends. So.
Right.
Yeah, so when he comes in, I'm gonna have to tap that lap again.
Heck yeah. We love
I
having
actually
the Geek Boys on.
the one event that's coming that I won't go into specifics yet, but the one event that's coming, and I talked to them about broadcasting, and they said, will you be sitting on my lap again during the interview? And I said, absolutely. And they're like, we'll do this then. Let's do this.
Toxie's ass gets us into so many fabulous places.
Whatever my ass can do for the good of the team, my ass will do.
That's fabulous.
Have ass will travel.
I have tits will travel. I
You
can't do much
do.
with my booty, but I can do plenty with my titties.
I gotta tell you though, every song, and we're gonna get into this now, but every song, you know, that we're like dancing to, they all talk about asses, but they don't talk about boobies that much, huh?
I'm gonna say that I I'm very upset by that. In the big girl world, there are two kinds of guys. There's a third kind of in between kind of guy, but you're either a tits guy or an ass guy. And one of the reasons you're with big girls is so you can have big tits or big ass.
Wait, what's the in between?
Bellies. There's guys who are totally into bellies, but usually it's bellies and butts or bellies and tits, but some guys are
So that's
totally
it.
into
It's just tits,
an
ass, or
ass. Yeah.
bellies.
Some guys are into legs, but their percentage of the crew is so small that they're not even worth kind of like talking about. Whatever, dudes.
Whatever,
Um
dudes. Whatever.
and so what I don't understand is, especially with men and their fascination with titties, is why there aren't more titty songs. Why are they all drop that booty, shake that ass, my milkshake brings the boys to the yard? Like, why? I like big butts and I cannot lie. Why can't it be a song like when her titties jiggle, my penis gets up and wiggle? Like, I want titty songs.
Can someone write us that song? What is it? When
When
my
her
titties
when her
wiggle.
titties when her titties no, when her titties jiggle, my penis gets up and wiggles.
If
Doodaloo.
there's someone out there who could write that song, that
Vendetta
would
could
be
write that
awesome.
song.
Is I don't know if Vendetta, are you still in there? I don't think he is.
Oh,
I
that's
think
too
it's
bad.
late for him. I think he's gone.
Yeah, he does have school in the morning.
Yeah, Vendetta's gone.
So I want a titty song so that when we go out on the dance floor and dance to it, I don't feel self-conscious.
I had no problems. I was like, what? All of these are ass songs.
hmm So, Toxie, where did we go last night that had me out
we
till almost the crack of dawn?
right? We went to the
The
Rooster.
Red Rooster, yay!
Red Rooster.
The sex club where we go and don't have sex.
Right, right.
We
That's
drink.
here's what is so awesome about this club. I am a drinker. Don't know if anyone's aware, but I like to drink. And let me just do a disclaimer, Mom, if you're listening at this point, please
Cut it off.
cut it off. No more. Thank you. Um, so I am, a drinker, but I love that for a couple you get in, you pay $30, you bring your own alcohol, they'll mix it for you.
Yeah, they have mixers there.
It's a $30 night.
Right.
A $30 night plus, a couple of tips for the bartenders, but it's a $30 night. You might even have a little sex, but it's a $30 night. For Sierra, as a female, it was a $5 night.
Well, I think all in all, including because all I had for alcohol wise that I was going to take with me, because all I really have are like whiskeys and scotches that I sip on. So I had Jack Daniels, the Tennessee Honey, to take with me. We stopped and picked up a bottle of Malibu on the way, and so that cost me, with the bottle of ginger ale to mix with my Jack Daniels, that cost me $18 altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So it turned out to be probably a $30 night for myself as well, with tips to the bartender.
Right.
So it's $30 for me as well, but I got shit faced on $30.
So let's start. Let's start when we get there. So we get there, and first, we get our drinks and we start drinking. And first, I see somebody that I think we recognize from the show at the bar. So I shouted her name and I ducked
Behind me,
and left
so
her there.
it's up to me to go, oh, it is you. Yay.
Just in case it wasn't, I turned. But let's start with the drinking. We have so many stories to share, but let's start with the drinking. I have to tell you that I consider myself a professional drinker. No secret, I like a little sippy sip on the
Mhm.
weekends. Um, Jägerbomb is my drink of choice. I drink it with a sugar-free Rockstar that is fruit punch flavored. It's divine. And at one point, not only was I was impressed because Sierra was matching me drink for drink.
With either
All of
Malibu or
a
Jack Daniels.
Right, she was mixing that shit up, and all of a sudden she overtook me and bypassed.
I did. I was
And
one
she's
drink
like
ahead.
she's like, "I'm a drink ahead of you." I have no idea how that happens.
You went dancing, and I drank my drink and got another drink and then came back.
Because I drink like I'm in the desert and there is no water for miles, and it's, and I just found an oasis of Jaeger. And
She
so
brought her straw.
I have a straw, and in between I drink water now because I
Mhm.
want to be responsible, and nobody wants an IV bag tapped, or so I've heard. And so I drink water throughout. But yes.
My favorite part is that we're probably 2 or 3 drinks in, and they were pouring pretty heavy because that's what they do there. Because they want you to get as drunk as possible, as quickly as possible, so that you're either fucking or gone before 3
Right.
o'clock hits when they have to start kicking everyone out.
Right. 2 o'clock they kick everyone out.
Right.
But yeah.
So, about drink 2 or 3, Toxie's like, "I am drunk," and I'm like, "I'm not even buzzing yet." And
Yeah, it took you a while.
it did. I was drunk by the time the end of the night rolled around.
But it took you a while.
It did took me a
And I
while.
explained, to you, my stomach is configured different because
Mhm.
I had the gastric bypass a zillion years ago. But however it works, it goes straight to my drunk hole. So as the liquid goes in my mouth, glug, 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 it goes right to the,
The drunk bladder.
like, woo! And then, but I sober up quickly.
Mhm.
So if I like to stay drunk, have to keep going
Yeah.
versus it'd be great if I learned, stop at this point, but I don't. So whereas, a normal person, it takes a few drinks to get going, and I'm like immediately, I'm like, I'm drooling, my lips are numb, and I'm like,
We were totally drooling all over ourselves last night,
yeah,
spitting all over each other.
that was it. It was a lot of fun. And so yeah, so we had so there was one of our previous guests who
Mhm.
had been on the show, so she was there and we're talking with her. And then another one of our previous guests, she's a friend of the show. She's been on several times. And so, we're all together and she comes running up at one point and she's like, someone recognized me from the show.
Weren't you on that show? And then suddenly that person was like, "Hey, you're the other 2 girls from that show." And we're like, "Hey, that's us. And you're in just nothing but a
A
towel."
towel. Nice to meet you, though. Keep the
Please
towel on,
put your
thank you.
penis away.
Yeah, so that was very interesting. But I will say we in talking about the dancing, I was a little when we had first gotten there and I gave without going into why, but I'd given Sarah a heads up, I maybe wasn't feeling as fun that night. And I was a little disappointed in something, so a little sad, no, bummed. So when I got there, I'm like, I don't know how much fun I'm going to be. And then at one point, we're all out there on the dance floor, and it was like crazy, and it was a ton of fun. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is fabulous. This is exactly what I needed. And
Yay.
it was a really good time.
Me too. I was I don't I'm not a very social person in real life. Go figure. Because I hate people. And so but I do still crave that genuine human connection of friends and going out and doing things with them. There's just some things I can and cannot do anymore. And
Right.
going out to the regular club scene, I cannot do that anymore. Mostly because any club here in town, you have to walk 5 miles through a casino before you make it to the club, and then it's like $80 to get in if they will let you in.
Right. And then the drinks are like, I went to one and I got
25
a Jaeger bomb. It
bucks.
was $14.25.
That's ridiculous.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm drinking one drink and I'll lick the cup and I'm done for the night.
Yeah. So, and there's various other things I don't like to do, and the things I like to do, most normal people don't find a lot of fun. I have been to the Atomic Testing Museum and totally want to go back again because it was a lot of fun. I like the Natural History Museum. I'd like to go do that, but apparently that's not things that adults like to do. So,
Right. Yeah, I will never call you up and say, Sierra, let's go to the Natural History Museum
shark
to
feeding
hang
time.
out.
2 o'clock on
I've
Saturdays
been
is shark
there.
feeding
I've
time.
taken the kid there multiple times to like all of the things. In the Atomic one, we went and saw what is it, where you lay back in the chair and they do the big.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore, but yeah.
Well, I was there when they did it,
Yeah.
and you lay back and you watch like the stars and the.
Hmm.
Obviously, it educated me well, but
Yeah.
so we do all of that in the kids museum. We hit up that one. The new one's much nicer than the old one.
I haven't been to the new one yet.
Yeah, the new one's
So,
pretty sweet. So anyway, but I'll never call you up and ask you to do that for fun, like just the two of us.
well, that's too bad because that's what I like to do. But
Yeah.
so I don't usually get invited out to go places. And when the confusion of what I thought I was talking to Toxie and then it turns out I'm talking to Mr. Toxie, they were inviting me to go out with them to the Rooster that night. Because lo and behold, I did not have my kid and I have just gotten paid, so I have money. And so, like, I could do this. Like, that's cool. Yeah, let's do this. And I was so excited. I started getting ready like 4 hours early.
Right,
When
like,
you guys texted me and were like, "Oh, we're on our way," I was already fully dressed and sitting in the living room waiting for you guys to
yeah,
show
you
up.
were. When you sent us the picture, like, we hadn't even left our house yet, and I live on the other side of town from you,
Right.
and you're like, eh, selfie, I'm fully ready.
Dressed and ready to go.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, as you are sending this, I'm not wearing pants or underwear yet. So that's awesome that you were fully ready.
Well, and the
Um,
funny thing is that I waited a while before I sent that picture because I was like, I don't want to look too nerdy. Like that just looks desperate at this point, I think. So, yeah, so it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I got drunk. I haven't gotten drunk like that in a really long time because the last couple of times we've gone out to drink, we're also usually broadcasting as well,
right.
and I can't get drunk when I'm doing that because I got a lot of equipment I got to take care of, and I just haven't had the time and opportunity to really get shit faced. Not that
Hmm.
I got shit faced last night, but I did get drunk
No, you
enough
were drunk,
to.
but you were still like coherent and
Yeah, I wasn't.
no, it wasn't sloppy drunk. It was
No,
like fun drunk.
it was fun drunk. I hadn't crossed that border into dancing on tables yet. But we did totally and very loudly discuss the fact that when we went out to eat afterwards, there was a large table full of police officers sitting next to
Ah.
us.
As I was trying to take selfies to get the police in the picture. I love I love a man in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's handcuffs involved, I love a man in uniform even more.
Yeah.
So I was there trying to snap some selfies without being obvious, but if you look on my phone, they could tell I was taking a picture, and they were probably like, "Let's see what vehicle she gets into and if she's driving."
Which is why we had Mr. Toxie, who is a very great designated driver, by the way. He's got
Right,
lots of
he has
experience.
lots of experience. He's a good collector. He
But
will
their
make
vehicle is
sure.
only a three-seater when he's in there because he's got to
Right.
push that chair all the way back. There's like 4 inches of space between the back of the
Yeah,
chair
yeah.
and the
No one
seat.
wants to sit behind him. You
No.
can't. So, but there were a lot of little adventures while we were still in there,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get to the restaurant in Leon after. Excuse me, but
Leon was
there was
great.
one where there was a gentleman who turned to me, and he probably only came up to my left tit. And he was like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" I'm like, "No, I don't think so. Are you sure? You're very familiar." And I'm like, I host a radio show." He's like, "Huh, okay." And we talked about that for a minute. And he's like, "So, I like your ass." And then he's like, "That girl he was with, you know who I'm talking about. Which one, right? The Ricky
No.
Ricardo."
Oh, Lucy, I'm
So Ricky
coming.
Ricardo. And so he was like, "I like your ass." And he goes, "I like asses." And then he turns to the girl he was with and he was smacking her. He's like, "Look," and hers was nice and jiggly.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's got like a nice juicy jiggly
Badonkadonk.
ass. Yeah, yeah. That ain't happening when you hit mine. I mean, mine's probably gonna wave throughout, but it wasn't as, cute and whatever
Jiggly.
as hers. Yeah. So he was great, but he was interesting, but we kept calling him Ricky Ricardo.
Lucy, I'm coming. I'm coming. Oh, we had a lot of fun making fun of people. I love people watching at that place. Not just for the making fun of, but let me tell you, there were some beautiful men. We played the I would fuck him. I would fuck him. I would not fuck him. I think I am much less discerning than you are when it comes to fuckability and gentlemen. I think that was determined.
Yours, like as in.
I would have fucked just about anybody in there. The ones that she's like, "Oh my God, he's such a dork." I'm like, I'm getting hot looking at him. Like that's my bro. That's my type right now. Oh, there were so many
That's
things.
true.
Mr. Toxie, we told you to take notes and
I
remind us
know.
of things
Where's
to
the
talk
dang
about.
notes, man?
Next time we're taking a notebook when we go. If
Because
I
I
had
kept
brought my
saying we
regular
needed a
purse,
notebook.
if I had brought my regular purse, I would have had a notebook. All I had in my, I did luckily have some sanitizing wipes so that we could sanitize features. so that we didn't have to sit in somebody else's pussy juice.
Right. Oh, wait, let me go. Okay, so we first get in. Let me go back. We first get in and we can't find a seat anywhere. And so I sent Mr. Toxie to go, scope it out while I got alcohol, which is what I do best. And so he came back and sadly he didn't get one. Whereas when I go in, normally I can at least schmooze in a little and like, hey, someone's sitting there. And then when they say yes, I say, great, I'm bringing 3 more people over. But so bottom line, we ended up outside. So we're sitting
And it was nice
outside.
enough last
Yeah, it
night.
was all right. So Mr. Toxie and I are outside and Sierra goes off. In a little while, she comes back with a plate of food. A motherfucking plate of food. It was food. It went in your mouth. You digested it. It was food.
It was chips and dip and vegetables and dip.
There is one thing that you just don't do. You just do not eat food at the Rooster. It is covered in pussy juice. Like, guys are like, I probably should shut this, right? Is anyone still here?
It's just the Lebanese people across the way.
Like, you have guys, number one, we saw people at the table next to us giving a hand job.
It was great, by the way.
Which, by the way, the person with us grabbed a bunch of tissues, walked past the table, and set them down on the table.
Oh,
so he'd have them to finish.
So hard.
But so you have that, and they're not going in and sanitizing their hands, and then they're walking over and fucking grabbing chips, and they're falling out of their hands back into the container. You have, guys jerking themselves off, then digging for some chips. You got guys who were like, diddling a random lady. Guys who just came in from like the orgy room and still have a little bit of spunk on them or whatever. So they're like digging in the veggies. Like after they grab a handful of broccoli, they're like, I'm not really in the mood for broccoli. And they set it back down. And in comes Sierra.
And I ate it.
And Sierra fills her plate full of syphilis-laden vegetables and chips and walks out. And I don't even know what was on it because it was dark. Cheese sauce.
No, there was
jizz. I don't know what the fuck was on it. But she comes walking out
some
eating.
Chunky spooch.
Oh, God. There's a lot of things that gross me out. We've established that.
And it's mostly stuff I eat.
The top of the list, maybe number 2. Let's put mayo number 1. Number 2
is vagina chips.
Vagina chips. And she's sitting next to me just eating them like it's nothing. And meanwhile, I'm like, I'm going to have to pour bleach down your throat to get rid of the gonorrhea that you're intentionally digesting. You are literally like, I think I'd like a plate of gonorrhea. And
a side of syphilis.
A side of syphilis.
And a sprinkling of herpes.
And, a little of all of the above. This is delicious.
Damn good chips too.
So when you see the picture on Facebook of her eating, she's eating a plate of vagina chips because everyone who stuck their hands in that fucking thing of chips did not wash their hands. And their hands have been in multiple assorted places, including maybe assholes. So they're probably also shit chips. So way to go. Way to go.
Booty bonbons. That's
they're
what I'm
booty bonbons. Your booty platter.
And then I totally grossed her out by putting mayo on my burger.
Yes, Cali guy, they were definitely, I believe, pussy soaked chips. Pussy juice soaked chips is what your
Mangaritas.
I wonder if they were serving mangaritas. Yes. Well, not your mangarita. No, someone else's.
Not that hasn't been served before. Oh.
However, somebody's mango juice from somewhere was on there.
They tasted good. I ate them. And I still don't have syphilis or gonorrhea.
I know. Doesn't it take a moment to appear, the symptoms?
Yeah, probably.
I don't think the venereal warts are going to pop up immediately.
Suddenly I'm going to walk in and have herpes sores all over my lips. Hi, Tati! Give me a kiss, baby! All oozing and pussy. Look at the syphilis on my tongue.
So the people that I normally look at in horror and disgust as they eat there became you.
Yeah, it was me. By the way, I'd like you to know that a naked man took a handful of chips out of that bowl before I did.
He was. Oh.
That's good times.
I.
You want a kiss?
No. Oh, Calica, at least she didn't order the poo poo platter. Ha. This monologue by Toxie should be made available as a greatest hit single.
That's a good idea. Maybe I will clip this out.
you, you probably should. Your
probably
pussy
should.
juice chip adventure.
Pussy Juice Chip Adventure.
Ugh.
That's a great name for this segment. It was good stuff. And
Come on.
just for your reactions, I would do it again.
The whole thing is, it's one thing like if you came to me and said, I'm eating chips covered in pussy juice of someone I know, no judgment. I'm like, chow down.
Random stranger pussy juice.
Random stranger pussy juice. Nut, spooge, little asshole sprinklings, whatever the fuck people have their hands on.
Side of dingleberries.
Oh. Anyway, it is the most.
And then we got drunk and assaulted a car salesman.
Yes, and then Sierra's going, what do you think of this vehicle and this vehicle? And I'm like, excuse me, I'd like the Traverse or the Santa Fe.
Mr. Toxie's like, we're not getting another car. Oh no, he wants to put you in the ultimate
minivan. I will not do it. I will not do it.
You know what? You guys could come to. There's this beautiful little car called the Subaru Forester, which is kind of it's a crossover between a minivan and an SUV.
Right. I'd like a crossover. I'm okay with a crossover. I will not get a minivan. Number one, I'm paying for the vehicle. I'm not getting a minivan. End of story. I don't think there's further discussion needed. End of story.
I think that's a good discussion.
I will be driving it at all times. I will not drive a minivan. End of discussion. There's nothing wrong with it. My friend has a minivan and we love riding with her because it's so cozy. There's so much legroom. That's where we watch puppet porn. I hang naked out her sunroof.
It's a friend I know.
Yeah, it is a friend you know. I hang naked out her sunroof. I mean, her minivan is the ultimate. Like I want a road trip with her just to like hang out in the minivan. But I can barely park my Nissan Altima in a parking space without hitting another vehicle. Like I'm going to be super swift and savvy trying to park a minivan in
you'll just have to turn into that person who parks at the end of the parking lot row and walks in no matter how far away that is. No? Not
Have you met me?
Yeah, then you need to get a handicap placard and you get an extra 2.5 feet on either side.
I did. I used to have a big SUV though. I used to have a Yukon. I could drive the shit out of that. Like that was great. But
no,
I've had a little car for a while.
Not gonna be the minivan mom.
No. Plus, I just have one child.
Yeah, you don't really need a minivan.
I don't need a minivan. I need something where I drive a lot of her friends to sports, and we start volleyball up this week, and still doing soccer, and I drive.
When will you ever have time to do anything?
I don't. Here, Sunday nights at 7. This is my relaxing time.
Occasionally on Saturday night at 10.
That's it. But let's see here. Oh,
Mom-mobile minivans are cool.
they are. It's just not what I want. That's all. They're cool. They're
awesome.
But it's just not what I want. And I just have one. When I had the big SUV, it was right after my daughter was born, and we planned to have like a zillion kids. And by a zillion, I mean like 2. But we had one. It was going well. I figure if it's not broke,
don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Let's just keep the one.
Yeah.
We hit pretty good odds with this one. That's it.
Yeah, when you get the right one the first time, sometimes it's not good to go for the second one. Mom, Dad, some advice they should have taken.
By the way, speaking of second childs, I get a text from my sister. My sister is younger than me, married to a much, much, much older man who has children older than I am. And she's like, their oldest granddaughter had a son, which makes her a great grandma. My sister's younger than you.
Wow.
And she is now a great grandma. Just thought I'd share.
That's some hillbilly shit going on right
There's some
there.
hillbilly shit.
Although
Well,
it's
it's
better
because her
than
husband's older.
well, it's better than mine, and my uncle's not really my uncle. He's a cousin, and my cousins aren't really cousins. They're something else. My mom was adopted into her family,
Oh, okay.
out of her family into her family. So it changed all of the associations, cousins to uncles, uncles to cousins, and stuff like that. And then we met her birth family, her half brothers and half sisters, who are all much younger than her. And I got to tell you, her apple did not fall very far from their tree. There, we were all peas in a pod. The whole nature versus nurture. I believe that there is some things born into you. And when your mom is a chain smoking, coffee drinking motherfucker, then most of the rest of your family is going to be a chain smoking, coffee drinking motherfucker. All of my aunts, uncles, all of them. First time we ever met them, they walked in the house. It was like a parade of people because I have two aunts and two uncles, and they were all married and have kids. And so they're coming
Who
in.
asked us last week how you can have two aunts?
I don't remember.
I think it was somebody, it was one of the listeners.
Yeah, some listener
So
asked
how
me
can
I
you
could
have two aunts?
My mom has two sisters. And she technically has three brothers. She has one full brother who's older than her and two younger half brothers. It's a lot. It's a big family.
Right.
And it's always overwhelming to go see them because it's, when we would go visit family, for us it would be like grandma, grandpa, and us. That would be it. We go visit family with them, and there's like 85 people there, and I only know two of them. They're my aunts, collectively known as the aunts, because they don't go anywhere without each other. We had a good time last
Mr.
night.
Toxie just texted me and said, let's get to the good, juicy shit.
What does he want us to talk about?
I don't know.
Text us, Mr. Toxie. You have both of our numbers. Tell us what you want us to talk about. Because we got kind of drunk there towards the end, and we just kept saying, you need to remember this. And I know I said, I will remember this.
You did. You kept going, I will remember.
But
and I'm
I did
like, why
not.
don't we have paper?
You know what is really retarded? I'm sorry, I used the R word. You know what's really ridiculous of us is that we both have iPhones that have voice recorders on them.
Yeah.
We could have just set them to record our conversation, and that we could have just played it back and not even shown up tonight.
Yeah, we could just play it. We did keep going in the bathrooms, and we were in there for a long time, but we were taking bathroom selfies, which I posted some on my Toxie page. So we were doing bathroom selfies, and
I cleared the pee off the toilet seat for you.
yes, I appreciate that. I could have used you the last time I went in because someone apparently, just because you're in a sex club does not mean you don't have to piss in the toilet.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't mean you have to be gross. Like, I went in and it was all over.
What, do you just like bend over and spray and pray like it's a fucking fully automatic machine gun?
And so here I am, like, trying to clean it off. And then I'm trying to pull toilet paper off and lay it like this. Very drunk. Lay it around the toilet. Nice, like this, and it kept falling off or falling in, and I'm like, fuck, and I'm pulling off another. I wish there was a camera in there. And I'm pulling off another, and I'm setting it down, and then it's falling in the toilet again, and I'm like, fuck.
Do they have any ass gaskets in
there? No, So I was
Okay.
using toilet paper, and I hate doing that because of my fat ass. When I get up, the toilet paper always hides somewhere back there. So I get up, and I turn, and I'm like, where's all the toilet paper? It's hidden in my ass somewhere. There's just too much space back there for it to hide. So I wish they had like the little, the ass seat covers, but they didn't. So if you could have seen me in there like trying to set it down on there, and I'm like, God, it fell in again. This went on for a while. So that last time when I was in the bathroom and it seemed like, I went to take a shit or something. I mean, I was gone for a long time. It's because I couldn't get the toilet paper on the seat.
They make ass gaskets that you can carry in your purse, little personal ass gaskets.
I did not have a personal ass gasket.
We're gonna have to order you some personal ass gaskets.
Or I need to steal from the gas station and fold them up and put them in my purse just for there. But yeah. People are disgusting.
So that one bathroom that we went into the first time we were taking all the selfies, there's a shower in that bathroom that has a like sink, like a tub faucet down by your feet, and I'm kind of wondering why you need a faucet down by your feet in a stand-up shower. I mean, even if they'd converted it from a tub, you could have tiled over that, but they didn't. They kept it, and that I'm
And I
wondering.
wanted to use it. Why didn't I use it?
I don't know.
Do you remember why I never ended up using it?
I don't know. I was drunk. I can use the Toxie excuse. I was drunk.
See how well that excuse
It does.
works?
It works very well.
It works. So we had we had a friend there who I think she was going to go into the one room, but ended up not.
Yeah. So there was a person there that we knew that was like hungry for sex and hungry for group sex, and so like gathered a gaggle of people to go have sex with in the orgy room. And we gave them like 2-3 minutes to get in there and at least start getting undressed, and then we show up and they're not even in the room. They're all milling about outside, and now nobody wants to fuck anybody else. Suddenly all the fucking had ended. There was no fucking going to be happening, and we're very disappointed by that. Nobody got in there. I don't think there was anyone in the orgy room at all that night.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
That's up to you. I'm totally okay with it.
I don't know.
All right.
How long do we have? 17 minutes.
Yeah, 10 if you want to cut it short.
Okay, so there was a room,
The chair room.
the chair room, which Mr. Toxie wanted to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And so we we went in, and by we, my co-host came in as well to observe from her observation side chair
Research.
for research purposes for the show.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to see what it was about. So first and foremost, as we go in the room, a random guy comes in with us.
Not a random guy, the German that was going to be in the group sex thing that
Right,
the person was
but
putting
he
on.
left there and came with us.
Yeah, like he was not invited. We didn't even say, hey, come with us. We're going to the chair room. He
No.
just followed us in.
And so we're in there, and I'm like, this can't happen.
Yeah, she's like,
this is very weird.
so he left apologetically, but it
What
was a
else you
little
gonna
weird that he
do?
just followed in. Because at first I didn't know who you were talking to because I was arranging my corner, my
Right.
observation area. And then you're like, no, really, I just think it should be the three of us. And I'm like, it is just the three of us. And then I turn around and the German's in there. And I'm like, oh, go pound your way into Austria somewhere else, my friend. He took my German jokes in stride, though. That was good.
Wait, what were the German jokes? I must have missed them.
Yeah, you did. I was talking about how he was going to pound her into Austria and something else. And then I told him I have a friend who has an SS costume. And then our friend was like, but I'm Jewish. And I said, that's even better. Like, that makes it appropriate. But
Nice. So this chair was a very unique contraption. I had never been in there. I had never seen it. So at first I was freaked out about Mr. Toxie wanted me to go on the chair. Bottom line. And so I was really freaked out about it just being gross, like knowing other people had been in there. So Sierra was well prepared with wipes.
I had sanitizing wipes.
Sanitizer wipes. And so the seat got wiped down. In the meantime, I had taken off my stuff in the mirror, but I'm like, I look really cute in my bra and panties.
So she's like, take some pictures.
So I'm like posing for pictures. I even looked this morning, I'm like, where the fuck? I'm like, all right, we were taking pictures. So there's pictures. I'm like just posing, like I got my ass out.
Some glamour
I'm
shots,
like,
head
I was
turns.
doing total glamour shots. Because I had cute little polka dot panties on. It was
very
great.
cute.
It was I was I know last night I was like, I'm posting these on my Toxie page, but actually there's no way I will. Unless I'm drunk again and I'm like, hey, let's post these pictures. So anyway, I have mentioned in here before that I am a giggler. I am an absolute giggler, and last night was no exception. I giggled trying to get up on it.
She giggled while she was on it.
While I was on it. I giggled getting off of it. I
giggled getting off.
Giggled and giggled and giggled. I couldn't even. I just couldn't stop giggling. That's all.
It was
So
hilarious because she's giggling, and so I'm giggling, and I'm trying not to giggle, but occasionally a giggle of mine gets out, and then she starts giggling. Mr. Toxie doesn't give three rats' asses what we're doing. He's just gonna do what he's gonna do.
Right, right.
He came in with a mission, and by golly, right into the trash can. And this is what it sounded like the entire time we were in there. You can't. You gotta stop. We have the show to do. We can't just sit here and laugh for 5 minutes. Look, she's crying, ladies and gentlemen. Needless to say, it was a good time. Had by all. And then she got her ass stuck while she's trying to get off. It wouldn't peel off of the vinyl.
Yes, I was stuck. It was great.
And then I demonstrated to them the appropriate doggy style use of the chair. How to get up on it.
Because I explained that my best work is done from behind. I was almost like apologetic. I'm like, what you have seen here tonight is not my best work. I'm like, my best work is from behind. So I believe I might have invited you to come observe again at another time when I can perform much better in my appropriate
We gotta do it.
direction.
You know what they need is they need one room that has another little hidden room so that you can have people come in with you and then they don't have to be in the room with you. They can go in the other room and just peep through a peephole.
There you go. That would be creepy though, because what if people went in and you didn't know?
Well, the only way to get in would be in through the room that you're in already. Not like you can walk in. Anyone could walk in and peep show. Although that would be kind of cool too. I'm an exhibitionist. I kind of like it.
So after we left there, we went to eat, and we went to eat at this place. This is the place where I was trying to take the pictures of the policeman behind me.
It's the Longhorn, by the way. I'm totally gonna plug them because they've got good food.
But I kept as being very weird. Like first I asked, I was so hungry I could have eaten a baby at that point. Like if somebody brought a baby or a little tiger, I would have just eaten whatever. And so after I ordered, I asked the server if he could go back and just bring me the pickle to start with, but not just any pickle. I wanted him to line up all of the pickles and choose the biggest, fattest, juiciest pickle. So at that point he knew. He's like, we're in for a fun ride here.
And then he rode with us the whole goddamn way.
He was hilarious. And then at the very end, he comes out and he goes, how do I split up the checks? And you go, put mine on separate. And I said, listen, I just met this student an hour ago. However, I have put out. So I feel that mine should go on his. And he owes me at least that. And this guy had no idea that I was kidding. Like, he has no idea that Mr. Toxie and I have been married 15 years.
And he totally did it.
No clue. And so, yeah. But then when he came back with the checks, he's like this. He nods to me and he goes, like, do I want to go out back? He's like,
yeah.
I'm okay.
He was trying to get her to pay for her meal.
Yes, so I was going to get work for 2 meals, although it was delicious. So I probably, I don't know.
Yeah, we asked them to make it the fries extra crispy, and they came extra crispy, and my bacon was extra crispy, my burger was extra crispy. It was good.
My burger was delicious.
It was, with all my mayo on it. Yum.
That part was fucking disgusting.
The cops were hilarious, though. They totally could have arrested us for public drunkenness.
Right.
Public intoxication. We were drunk in public, and they didn't care. Of course, though, if you're going to go to that casino at 4 o'clock in the morning to eat as a police officer.
You're totally busting these guys out. Let me just tell you, you have now said where. You have now said the time. You have now said, that they were in there at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You're totally busting these dudes out.
Probably because they were on their lunch break. They don't usually just stop. There's approved locations. No, there's approved locations where they can go and have lunch and stuff like that. So,
okay.
And they're probably that early morning patrol unit all on lunch. But it's not uncommon for police officers to have lunch in a casino. They do it all the time. Yeah, so they were all in there talking quietly too, those bastards. I couldn't overhear a thing they were saying. But it was hilarious. I was pretty sure Mr. Toxie was afraid we were going to get arrested. We were being kind of loud.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a first time.
That you got arrested?
No, no, no. I've never been arrested, but I'm really drawn to a man in uniform, so
Mm.
that I tried to make friends with cops while drunk. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good motherfucking time.
It was a lot of fun.
It
A
was a
lot of
lot of
fun.
fun.
And our friend of the show was there and she was really fun. She was really drunk and
Can I talk about the guy I interviewed while we were sitting at that table? He came over and sat down and he was looking for sex. And we're like, "Well, what's type? What's your type? What type are you looking for?" And he goes, "I
out of
want
wait, out of
out of
unprompted. Yeah, like you just said what type of woman are you looking for? And
a dirty, nasty whore." What? So he goes on to explain to us that the first time he'd ever had sex was, with a hooker, and she was a dirty, nasty whore that he had sex with for 2 hours. And he said it didn't matter how hard I pounded her, she took it and took it. I'm like, yeah, she gets paid to do that. But and so all night long, we've now adopted this person into our circle because you can't just come up to me and tell me you're looking for a dirty, disgusting
right.
whore and not become one of my friends. And so I'm pointing out various dirty whores to him because there were a couple of them there last night. Like she would take it in any hole you would put it in, and he's like, yeah, she would. She's a dirty whore. And yet he sat at our table the whole time. I don't even. They disappeared. He disappeared for a while, a couple of times. I'm wondering if he actually
Yeah.
got any
I don't think
booty.
he did.
That
I don't think he
sucks.
did.
You
But,
know what? If you come with the intention of getting laid, get laid. You can. I don't care who you are, male or female. If you go to the rooster, if you're gonna get laid, go get laid. Somebody will have sex with you at the rooster. You may not you may have to lower your standards a little to get laid, but you can get laid at the rooster. Even if you go without the intention of getting laid, you can get laid. You just have to go for it.
we have a few more minutes. I have to share my catch up
Yeah,
other
share your
than the
catch up.
rooster story.
Yeah.
So, where I went this week, One Direction. Ah.
Bane of my existence. So you guys bought these tickets like a year ago?
Yes, not my best parenting move. Well aware. Middle of the week concert, out of town. No way. We try to figure out every way possible to make it just there and back. Wasn't happening. So a little school was missed. And a year ago, it didn't seem like a big deal because it was a year ago. But now she's in a much harder grade and
Mm-hmm.
trying to manage the class schedules and the sports. And so it not the best parenting move. I might have been a cool mom for a minute because she definitely no longer finds me the cool mom.
Mm.
So I might have been for a minute, but I was a horrible parent for for making that trip
For a day
midweek.
and a half.
But we went there and the stadium was huge. It was a really awesome stadium. And let me just tell you, I should share the recordings. It was the loudest fucking thing you'll hear in your life. When those girls start screaming, it is
Ridiculous.
ridiculous. And so first we come in and we go to use the restroom before we sat down. And we go in the women's room and I turn to my daughter and I'm like, why is it full of urinals? Like there's two stalls and the rest are urinals. And I'm like, that's weird. And she's like, I think it's because a lot of women might bring their sons in here. And I'm like, well, that would make sense. I
Did
don't
they
think they need
relabel the
like,
men's rooms for this
yes, I
concert?
realized as we left that they relabeled the men's because
That's a good
there was like
idea.
a 90+% female population to
Yeah,
a
if
very
they'd
small
only
male
been using
population.
half of the restrooms, you would have had lines around the
But
building.
I will tell you that nothing is hotter than a dad taking his kids to a teeny bopper concert. There is nothing hotter. Like all of those dads, I'm like, I want to hug you and make out with you. You're totally cool. So,
What was your favorite part of the concert?
at the end when we were leaving, no, here's my favorite part. Um, I, my daughter is heavy into sports, really into school. She's an excellent student. She takes her grades very seriously. If her grades are low, she fixes them. She just got a whatever you want to call it, demerit for she mixed up. They have alternating days as to what classes they have. They
Mm-hmm.
alternate. And so she confused one day for another, forgot the right binder, and got like a demerit or whatever you want to call it. And she got in the car and she's crying and she's like, I'm just disappointed in myself. And, so she's a very serious kid. She's not always a, fun, woo-hoo, let's go crazy kind of kid. She's just a little bit more serious. She was so excited. That was my favorite part. Like, she was fangirling. She was making friends with all the girls sitting around her. She was like Instagramming, what was going on. I have pictures of her where you look at her and she's just amazingly excited. Um, she of course like got a 40 fucking dollar t-shirt out of me and then hit me up for a poster, and she was enjoying it so much
You
that
just can't say
I
no.
can't say no. I couldn't. So, so then she has her poster, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun. It was a really good time.
Good.
So,
I think we as parents sometimes need to be bad parents in order to be good parents because
right.
sometimes giving your kid that extra special thing that while it may take away from some of the more serious aspects of the things they need to do, it also reminds them that there are rewards for being amazing. That,
Right.
if you bust your ass at school and you bust your ass at sports, you do good at home, you do good everywhere else, you will get rewarded for
And
that.
that's how it works with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works with me. And we have like a minute. Do you have a catch up? I'm sorry I took all the
Oh,
time.
shit. Well, it is like a minute. I totally didn't even know what time it was. I gotta start this ending right here. No, my catch up besides yard work and the Red Rooster with you, I didn't really do much at all. That's
Nice.
basically it. Had snow cones a couple of times this week.
Snow cones? Oh,
Yeah.
I did see the snow cones.
Yeah, I love the snow cones. So does my son.
Did
So
we have
next week, I don't know, my calendar's not working on my phone, so for some reason it won't give me show stuff.
I can't get my emails on.
Oh, Jade Rose next week. Oh, it's working again. So we have Jade Rose Triple X next week. Tune in for that because I'm sure it'll be fabulous, ladies and gentlemen. And it's gonna be. That's it. We're done. I can't even speak anymore. I'm still drunk. This is Sierra
And Toxie.
wishing you all a good night. And remember, fuck
Fuck off.
often.